You're a host. You're a super host, right? You have super host status
Which
on Airbnb.
Here's the thing. I just looked at this yesterday because we were speaking about this. We're gonna do it. I am not a super host anymore.
What?
And
Why not?
this is the crappy part. So,
Welcome. So welcome to our channel. It's Ivo and Gibran, ivoandgibran.com, and we're launching our channel. It's brand new. We're going to be focusing on everything Airbnb, right, G? Everything Airbnb.
yep.
We're talking short-term rentals, mid-term rentals, trends, insights, data,
Rooms.
market research, boots on the ground, interviews with hosts, with guests.
Airbnb experiences. For some reason, it got paused. I think they were revamping or something happened. I think people were going wild and cooking at home and giving it to people. And I think that because I tried to make a new experience and it said I was allowed to because I already had an experience, but they were accepting no new experiences. I don't know if that's been lifted.
Really?
That's interesting.
When was this?
This was about like 6 or 8 months ago, and I checked my experiences to see.
So the beginning, middle of the year?
I think so. No quotes.
Okay.
No quotes.
So yeah, just everything Airbnb. We're focusing on the Airbnb ecosystem. We can go into a little bit of why we're doing that. Airbnb, our life has been revolving around Airbnb in significant ways this entire last 2 years. And so we thought YouTube has always been a significant, huge part of our life.
Yep.
So we thought, let's combine the two. Airbnb, YouTube, make content, and focus on Airbnbs. So
with the goal to get a fourth Airbnb property.
That is the main goal. So the reason why we're starting our channel is because we're going for our Airbnb number 4, property number 4, or I should say Airbnb number 4. And so we want to document the entire journey, right? From start to finish. A lot of the gurus and the people that we watch and have watched over time, they're already on Airbnb number 20, 30, 100, 1,000 units.
Yeah.
They're all so far ahead. So we thought we want to follow or listen to somebody that's just starting, right? That's at the beginning, so we can kind of see the whole process, not just when they're already, of course, when you're talking to somebody that's very advanced and has a lot of years of experience, sometimes it's difficult to remember what it's like being where we are.
Yes, and here we have limited resources, so every decision is really important. We can't just go and
we don't have unlimited money.
Yeah, that didn't work, right? So this is live or die. If we don't get the right property at the right place, how are we going to make the payment, right? We can go into details in another video, probably like what we already have, but that was all just trial and error. Let's see what happens. So we're still quite not experts, but
I mean, you've been doing it for 2 years, right? So you've been hosting for 2 years. I've been staying in Airbnbs and Airbnb rooms specifically the entire year of 2024.
Yep.
Right, like literally started in Madrid, then in Lisbon, and I hopped around the UK, Scotland, England, a couple cities in England, Northern Ireland. I was in Morocco, and then I was in Florida, hopped around there, North Carolina, and of course LA is where we live. So the whole year has been me in Airbnb rooms, and that's kind of one of the niches that we want to focus on, right? Airbnb rooms.
Yeah, definitely. So
welcome to our channel, and we're gonna go ahead and just put everything on ivoandgibran.com if you want to go there, and we're gonna we have a lot of cool ideas that we want to do, so that's where we're gonna have everything. And so we want to focus in terms of the podcast. We're just gonna go over everything Airbnb, and up next we're gonna go ahead and talk about the Airbnb stock. That's gonna be a big part of everything. The stock tanked, right, on Friday.
It did. So as of November 9th, 2024, Airbnb Inc., which is ABNB, closed at $134.61 per share, which is a decline of $12.76, so approximately 8.66% from the previous close.
So it went down almost 9% in one day, which is a massive drop, especially at a time when on Friday the market was kind of flat. Thursday was absolutely insane because of the election results. So the entire market was very bullish. Everything was up. I think it was it Wednesday that everything was up like crazy,
Yeah.
and then Thursday might have been a little up again. Friday was kind of flat except for Tesla, which was crazy, and then Airbnb tanked, just totally went the other way. Why? Do we know why?
So this source is, we're using ChatGPT, and this is I wanted it to pull from Airbnb releases all of its earnings, and then it pulled from Bloomberg, and it pulled from WSJ. So it took all the information, and its best answer was the stock's decline may be attributed to the slight earnings miss and potential concerns about future growth prospects. So Airbnb is in the position of, will it be able to continue growing? So one thing that I thought was really interesting, I watched an interview with him and Scott Galloway, and some of this, I read some of the earnings call. So one thing
the Scott Galloway podcast with Brian Chesky?
With Brian Chesky, yeah.
Okay.
So he talked about how it's, and I asked ChatGPT to kind of break down what it means, but he said of Airbnb's users, 9 of them will go and pick a hotel. So he was saying that if they can just get one more person to instead book an Airbnb, they could double their business. So they're saying that there's still so much room to grow. So I asked ChatGPT to explain what that actually means. So this is the answer. In the case, the 9-to-1 ratio provides a way to think about market share in terms of real numbers. If Airbnb books around 500 million nights in a year, that's their most recent number according to the earnings report of Q3. They're estimating that Airbnb represents 9 hotel bookings. So for every 500 million Airbnb nights, there are roughly 4.5 billion hotel nights in total. So
wow.
There's still technically a lot of room
10%.
to grow. Yeah. And they were saying, like, in the Olympics, I think 700,000 people, again, their earnings, or Brian Chesky that said this, 700,000 people stayed in Airbnbs. So they're saying that they can still grow a lot, but the biggest concern is the market probably thinks they can't, right? They're also trying to focus a lot on long-term rentals, which is
midterm or
midterm or
right?
long-term, and they're trying to diversify. So right now it's short-term rentals, so like someone booking 1 to 3 nights, 5 nights, right? Less than,
technically up to,
I don't know, a midterm would be, I don't know, we need to I don't know what defines a midterm,
Let's
short-term, and long-term is anything more than 30 days. Short-term, it might be less than a week.
No, I think short term is literally just anything underneath 30 days.
Okay, so
let's see exactly here.
Yeah, so I was checking that out.
So depending on the market, a short term rental is one where guests stay for up to a month. Long term rentals are usually reserved for longer than a month.
Got it. Okay, and then short term is anything under that. So, another thing that Airbnb wants to do is potentially, where was it? I think they want to introduce like renting a car as well. With Scott Galloway, he was saying he's open to building some kind of community. So there's already people that are traveling on Airbnb, so you can go and do something with somebody else. They want to focus on more experiences. So
they want it sounds like they want to diversify from just booking stays, right? Like a hotel to kind of like an Expedia, I imagine. It's like, oh, you can book if you're booking your hotel, then you're looking for a car. And if you're looking for a car, then you're looking for, experiences and travel activities that you want to do while you're there. So it sounds like a lot of these travel companies are trying to diversify, which is an interesting thing because even on the All In podcast, right? They were going back and forth on.
Yeah.
I just want an Uber. I just want to order my car. Like I don't want to order anything else. But they were saying, no, because if you're already looking for your Uber, then you might be wanting to go to a restaurant, et cetera, et cetera. So, that's what happened. Airbnb tanked. What I have here is Airbnb expansions could take a while to see real revenue. That's what Yahoo Finance says. And then both. Yeah, this is an interesting one from Yahoo Finance. Benzinga says housing crisis forces Airbnb and VRBO into the hot seat as cities grapple with soaring rents in mounting public backlash. That's a huge part, bro, that I don't hear people talk about a lot is the dark side of Airbnb, which is public backlash and of how it affects different communities and what it could potentially do to prices. So I would love for us to focus on that too. You know, we want to explore both sides of everything.
Yeah.
But overall, yeah, I've been using Airbnb literally this entire year as my housing. So
yeah,
it works
torn.
for certain people. Like for me, I needed it and it helped me.
Yeah, I was gonna say, to me, it's such a good, and the fact that you can earn income, right? I think it should be up to you. It should be your decision, and then if you do it thoughtfully, you do it well. And Airbnb has features that help make sure the right type of person stays there, so they're actively banning users. I think this year they mentioned they removed about 300,000 listings that are just were poor and didn't deliver the right experience. If you throw a party, they're quite great at banning it, or if a guest already has a strike, it'll let you know that, hey, you might not or like this person is at risk. There's been lots of people that have tried to book that it even seems a bit off when you're messaging them, and then it gets removed and says, hey, this person was removed. So they do quite well at monitoring when someone's probably not going to be a great guest.
Well, they've really focused on making that better.
Yeah.
Right? And I think that an Airbnb can be a positive thing for a community if it's done right. And of course, Airbnb has been really focused on improving this.
Well, let's switch off from the news. Just one more thing that I thought was interesting, because then I want to touch back on one more thing. But to end it, he did another interview with the Motley Fool. So we're quoting what Brian Chesky said, right? Whether you don't trust the Motley Fool, but this is actually what that Brian said, CEO.
This is him being quoted?
No, not quoted, but this is what he said.
Okay.
He was saying that they're focusing on three things. So three strategic initiatives, which are making hosting mainstream, perfecting their core service, and expanding beyond the core. So I think that really wraps up what they're trying to do, which was long-term, midterms. They're focusing on, all right, we already have all these amazing users. How do we make it better? How do we fix people's trust in Airbnb, where a host might just not end up allowing you to stay in their place and you're already there? What do you do? The like listings are all let's just say you book the night, you're showing up and they go, hey, I'm so sorry, I have to cancel, and you go, I planned my whole trip and I was gonna stay here tonight. Well, what do I do? And Airbnb's quite good. They'll give you a refund or help you find another one.
Happened to me.
So they're just trying to make sure that which is what any company should do, is continue to improve all of that.
You want to improve it.
And unreasonable requests from hosts, which is, I still think it's crazy to make your guests take out trash, go wash this.
Yeah, because you're paying a cleaning fee.
Yeah.
So why are you doing that? You know, that's one interesting thing is that I've noticed only really happens in the U.S. Anytime I've been somewhere else, you're not expected to wash your dishes. They come and clean for you like once a week at least.
Oh wow.
Like an actual person.
Holy shit! We're not recording. This was so good,
bro. Why not? What do you mean?
We never pushed record.
Holy hell!
We just recorded on that, and we were like, all right, let's go. We never clicked record.
Damn. Rookie moves.
Well, this was so good. I was loving it.
Good, right?
Do you remember how to redo this?
Yeah, technically.
You think it's gonna be just as good?
Probably not.
Okay. So
And I only thought of it because I thought, wow,
I'm glad
this is so fun and exciting that we're going to go well past the 30 minutes. And I was trying to find a way to tell how long it's been. And I thought, holy crap, this should tell me we're not recording. I just see the green thing, record.
Okay, so
Obviously, it's our first video.
So you know that this is the actual first episode of this entire podcast. We did not hit record. So the whole time you were just getting audio of whatever you can hear. Rookie mistake for episode number 1.
And
that's how you know.
yeah, okay. Dang it.
All right, but anyway, so hopefully we can hear. We apologize if the audio is not as crisp as it is now, but hopefully this makes it even better.
It'll sound a lot
and you can
better.
appreciate our investment into the microphone. But
well, I wanted to touch
where
on
were
one
we?
thing that we didn't talk about, but
Go for it.
This to me is your experience on Airbnb. My some of my favorite experiences were staying in rooms. I
Yep, me
would
too.
never have thought I would be a fan of rooms. I don't want to see the host. I don't want to know that someone's going to look at me when I'm walking in. I wanted to do with, I just didn't want to see a host. I didn't want to see another person. I thought I want my own private space, right?
Yeah.
Then I ended up staying in a room and I got to meet the host and they were so awesome. And it was an actual real person that was the first time, I believe, was in Arizona. I went to go see the Grand Canyon and I got to stay there. She made us breakfast. Was it great? Right?
But she made you
But
breakfast.
she made me breakfast.
Yeah.
And it was just one of those, I just don't like oatmeal. So,
You're not an oatmeal guy.
I'm not an oatmeal guy.
Maple sugar.
but she made us,
Quaker oats.
right?
Pre-packed.
I can't do that. But it was awesome. She got to make us breakfast and we sat down. She sat with us. We were just talking about why we're in town. She told us what to do. Oh yeah, go visit this. You're going to the Grand Canyon. Awesome. Told us a little bit about why she's a host. I believe she bought this home. She was semi-retired, just wanted to be able to see more people. I think she was divorced. So
Yeah.
it was just this awesome experience. Then through that, driving across the United States from LA to Vermont, I stayed at a mini farm. The people were awesome. They had animals. I've stayed in another one that was really great. I think it was in Boston.
All Airbnb rooms?
All Airbnb rooms.
Nice.
That one was like weird, but it was fun. Some of the guests were quirky.
Sometimes those are the best, dude.
Yeah. And
So-
recently I stayed in it's not Hacienda Heights or something like that. Not Hacienda Heights. Somewhere like something like that.
Somewhere in the LA.
But I
area.
rented a room in a house and I ended up meeting a really great friend. His name is Jimmy. And
Jimmy. Shout out Jimmy.
and it was all because of Airbnb. And at first he was a terrible host because I walk in and he's, hey, I'm gonna show you your room. Takes me to the room.
Who, Jimmy?
Yeah, Jimmy. He goes, yeah, this is your room. All right, bye. And it was, the mattress was naked. It had no duvet, no linens on it, no sheets. And although like,
Was this through Airbnb too?
well, I booked it on Airbnb and then it was his job to set the room up, which was terribly done by him. And it was just my terrible pillow with no
Yeah.
cover on it. One single sheet. You know how you wrap the mattress first with the thing that has the scrunchy part? Then it's the sheet.
Yeah.
He just gave me a sheet.
Wow.
But one of the guests, I feel so terrible that I can't remember her name, but she locked herself out. Then he was about to open my door because I overhear him. It's the middle of the night and I just hear him go, yeah, I think the guy's chill. He won't mind. And they're trying to open my door to see if my key would work. But that ended up allowing us to all bond. But
That's funny.
but
Because it
that's-
sounds like a horrible experience.
No, it was
But it was
fun.
one of your favorites.
It was
and
one
you
of
made
my
it-
favorites
He's one of your
because-
close friends now.
that girl had been living there for I think 2 weeks and I only met her that day.
Yeah.
Because everyone has work schedules, different schedules, right? So it led me to kind of try and be a little more social too, because you can have these amazing experiences through Airbnb.
Bro, it's all
if
about
you put
the-
in some effort.
Yeah, and it's all about the socializing. For me, I haven't really had there's been one host that I guess was my best actual host experience in terms of, getting to know a host. But my favorite Airbnbs have been rooms when it's a lot of rooms. So
A lot of people.
I'm meeting people and it's people in, my age group. So you just have this automatic community built in. You make friends. They're from all over the world. They're from different countries. My favorites were in Spain, in Madrid. I got to meet so many people. We're friends. I met up with some of them, and you kind of just stay friends. So like there's friends now. I have friends from Argentina, from Canada, and in Morocco, and in Belgium. Like just all these different countries now purely from these Airbnb rooms. And they've been my favorite. Portugal, which that was my favorite Airbnb ever, because it was 11 rooms, bro, 11 or 12 rooms, and it was the lowest budget possible, right, compared to other ones. The bathrooms were kind of bad. The kitchen was really messy because there's so many people living there. So one of the themes here that I find funny is that it seems like with Airbnb rooms, for some reason, the normal things at a hotel or would cause you to leave a bad review, the socializing, the community aspect, making friends, having that connection and interaction almost makes up for all the blunders
Yeah.
which you normally would hate. But
And
it's still okay.
And I think because at the end of the day, Airbnb's DNA has always been to make connections.
It's about community. Right?
And I do think that is lost in a hotel, or I just don't do it right. But I've never stayed in a hotel and met awesome people, or I guess have never stayed in an Airbnb at a hotel and gone to the bar or the restaurant outside and just get to meet people. For some reason, I feel it's not that same community vibe, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's just different because right here you're actually living with people. So especially there's just something about living with people, right? Like just think about our family, people that have actually at some point in our life stayed at our house for a week or two or a month or a couple months. When you live with somebody, you get to know them on a deeper level that the majority of the world will never ever know that person, right?
Yep.
And so I think there's something in that just it's this different level of a bond when you're seeing someone in the morning and then you're seeing someone when they come home, and you get to see all of their different sides of them in a good mood, them in a bad mood. So I think it does create much more meaningful relationships and bonds and connections. And for me, that's been my favorite part of Airbnb is staying in the rooms. In Morocco, dude, I got to stay in this awesome Airbnb where the host lived there. Like this was his house, and he was actually renting out the rooms. And he had people that would come and they would clean and they would cook you breakfast.
What?
And they would like they were there. He would be playing music with his friends, and they would cook dinner and invite you for dinner. Like everyone's sitting down together eating.
That's awesome.
It was amazing, bro. And so I felt like I got the true, authentic, like Moroccan experience. And I was actually staying in someone's house. Like they were actually hosting me, as opposed to just renting the property to a bunch of people.
I think,
and that was awesome.
Yes, I think we're trying to highlight some of those awesome hosts, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, we're definitely trying to highlight some.
Both sides are awesome.
We'll go to the
because
next one.
There are moments where you go, I just want an awesome Airbnb. I want someone who thoughtfully designed this, who lives in a part of the world or a place that I absolutely have always wanted to live, but I'm not going to be able to afford to buy this because I just will never live here. But I do want to stay in an A-frame.
Or if you're traveling with a family. Right?
Exactly.
Yeah. So I think one of the key things to highlight there is that we're both traveling solo, or we're doing a solo trip where you need a place to stay. And if you're traveling solo, rooms are amazing. But if you're going with a family, of course you want, or friends, right? A group of friends, you want to get a nice house instead of each staying in 10 different 10 different hotel rooms. You want to get that nice, badass house with the cool amenities and,
but I guess
I think that makes it a lot of fun.
Yeah, I guess I'm so big on hosting and having people over and wanting to cook for people, and I love designing spaces. I like curating a great experience, so I really care about that, and I think that's what we've done well with our home and the Airbnb. We've gotten great reviews, which is it feels like a home. It has everything. If you want to cook, we're big on cooking, so we have everything you need to cook. It feels homey. It has a soul versus I've stayed at Airbnbs that are run by management companies. And one time there was a pan to make an egg. So now I have this expectation of, okay, I'm going to go buy eggs because I can make an egg. And then there was no stove. There was nothing. And some of these Airbnbs are just, here's one glass. Here's two plates. And I think it's missing that element of an actual person thoughtfully wanted to share the way they live with you.
Yeah.
So,
well, there are so many levels of hosts, and there's like the companies that are managing 10,000 properties. But I would say, you're a host. You're a super host, right? You have super host status.
Which here's
on Airbnb.
Here's the thing. I just looked at this yesterday because we were speaking about this. We're gonna do it. I am not a super host anymore.
What?
And
Why not?
this is the crappy part. So we got a bad review on the tiny ADU, and it got a bad review because the guest. It's one of those things where I had to allow them to not stay because they had people over or music, right? And so they leave a bad review. And then so I had a bad review. Then when we got the home in Illinois, we had to go out and fix it because there was a big issue after 2 weeks of renting on Airbnb. And
With the house, right?
Yeah, with the house. So then there was an issue with the plumbing for one of the guest stays, so we had to cancel it. And we had to cancel like 2. And then we had a guest in the main house decide that, hey, even though we put, hey, there's one shared space where you have to walk through to get to each unit, and they were upset. And so those reviews ended up getting us like a really bad score that took away the superhost status.
Wow.
And a
it
lot
was
of
so few, and it was in such a short span of time.
Well, and it was like things that weren't really my fault, but you're allowed to leave a bad review. And we've had people where they broke something, and then I let them know, hey, you broke this. I'm gonna bill you for this.
Yeah.
And then they get upset and they
leave a bad review. Right.
Like someone left a review again, which was, oh, this place sucks. I didn't like it. It's for it has not that much room, and every single review is, we love the place. It's clean. It's awesome. Amazing bang for your buck. And so you could just tell that there was some. This was a.
Do you respond to every bad review?
I don't,
bro. I think that is so powerful because for my work, right? I see it's an online community basically, and so I've been in the customer service side, and it's a large community that you're managing, and I've been on the sales side. And so I've seen, and I used to do refund calls, right, at some point. So I was talking to the most angry customers possible, the people that are just having the worst experience. And some of the things that you find, bro, is just that it doesn't matter how amazing a product or service is, there's always going to be that person that just absolutely thinks everything is terrible and bad. And you just cannot please, you cannot please those certain customers that just make everything so difficult. So if you reply, you are able to have some sort of control over that. And I think a lot of people can see through the sort of BS reviews or reviews from people that are being unfair from customers.
No, you can't, but you're at the mercy of the guests, where there's a lot of times where I won't even complain or they'll break things, and it's just easier to replace than cause it to ruin our rating.
Right.
And lose a booking over.
That's
so you are
that's
kinda,
a hard
you are
that's a hard
handcuffed.
yeah. That's a delicate balance that because as Airbnb too, if you get too aggressive on the guests, then the guests are going to start leaving, and they're not going to be using it.
And we're great because we want to deliver that experience where you're on vacation. So we take out the trash.
Yeah.
We do everything. We clean your dishes. Even we do ask just.
We do ask you to clean your dishes.
We ask like to tidy up, right? But if you don't wash them, it's okay. We'll wash them.
Yeah, we got to do the non-US experience where
we put real
you have
actual shampoo that I would use. Shampoo and conditioner, body.
Right, bro.
No, and just so that everybody knows, and if you're a Superhost, you'll actually know. So we're not lying here. You get $100 from Airbnb every year that you're a Superhost.
Really?
Yeah. See, so only a Superhost would know this.
Nice. There we go. The $100. That's it. Yeah. Come on, Airbnb.
I know.
What's going on, man? Superhost. Do you know how hard it is to be a Superhost?
It's so hard,
dude. Okay. Well, yeah. Superhost status. We gotta get that. We gotta get you to get that back, bro.
Yeah, I need to figure out what to do to get that back.
Okay. Well, next up, let's go ahead and talk about the top 5 markets on AirDNA. Right. Which it's debatable, right? You're saying the AirDNA, how reliable is it? Right. So that's debatable, but we're going to go ahead. I think it's a great place to just do market research, find markets that I would have never even considered, and it gives you some cool data and insight. So we're going to be using AirDNA to just kind of go over, what do you think, top 5 or top 10?
Top 5, because I think if we even discuss anything that, kind of we're going to run long.
All right. So we're going to go really quick here.
Or do top 10, just run them down.
Stop it. We're going to do top 5. Okay, maybe top 6. All right, let's see. Okay, so top 10, number 1, this has a 100 rating, San Juan. I'm guessing that's Puerto Rico, San Juan. Revenue potential, 40.5K, 62% occupancy, $200.40 daily rate over the last 12 months. San Juan, Puerto Rico, right? Mm-hmm. Cool. Number 2, this is what I was telling you. This is the one that really interests me, is Las Vegas. Mid-sized city, 99 score. It's second place after San Juan, Puerto Rico, 60.4K revenue potential, right? That's 5K per month, 56% occupancy, daily rate $312.80 over the last 12 months. I'm going to go ahead and click on this just because it was something really interesting that I saw about this. We just currently have the free AirDNA version, which I really believe I'm going to go ahead and just get the pro subscription soon. But total active listings, 14,679 active listings. And then we have occupancy, right, 56%. We already said that. Revenue, 55K. Rates, 312. And RevPAR is 175. So that is, yeah, that's Vegas. I think Vegas is really interesting to me, bro, because it's the only city in the top 10 of AirDNA right now. It's also a top 10 city in terms of the most traveled to cities in the United States. And it's one of the it's a global destination for travel. So to me, when you have a top global destination for travel and in the US, which is where we're based out of, and it's in the top 2 on AirDNA because of the growth, right? I think it had like 16% year growth, 15% growth. Where's the growth? Okay, so all right, so we'll just leave it there. But yeah, so for it to be the only city in the top 10 of the most traveled to cities in the U.S. and also be top 10 AirDNA, I think that is great potential. Number 3 is Joshua Tree, which has a $99 ranking, 53.4K revenue potential, 52% occupancy, 326.7 daily rate. Okay, so Joshua Tree, that one's surprising for me. I wouldn't think Joshua Tree is up there.
Well, and Joshua Tree during COVID, it was one of the first places that we even looked. We actually went as far as trying to get a home, but I'm honestly grateful we didn't because so many people flooded there.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's been just maxed out. I think they stopped issuing permits to even do STRs or Airbnb. So that one's shocking.
Because it was so
to me.
saturated, right?
Yeah.
Which is why, to me, the small markets are a little risky. And that's why I would rather bet on a Vegas, because I know Vegas is going to be there in 10 years, in 20 years. I know people are always going to be going to Vegas. I know people are always going to be going to LA, Miami, New York City, Austin, right? Like the hot spots of the US, I know people are always going to be going there. So I kind of lean towards that as opposed to the smaller secondary, tertiary markets, which, you know,
Yeah.
I know you're a fan of like kind of secondary, tertiary, lesser known. But yeah, Joshua Tree is number 3. Okay, number 4 is Logan. Where is Logan? I don't know. So Logan is
Wolverine.
what?
Wolverine. Oh, and the score, if anybody
Ohio.
wanted to know. So AirDNA's algorithm assesses forward-looking data over the next 6 months, which includes revenue, so projected income from future bookings, days available, number of open calendar dates for booking, reserved days, dates that are already booked, booking lead time, so the average number of days in advance that bookings are made.
Nice. Awesome. So 99 Logan, Ohio. Cool. It's a mid-sized city.
Ohio.
It is revenue potential 66K. That's pretty solid. 54% occupancy, $355.20 daily rate over the last 12 months. And it has a rating of 99, just same as Joshua Tree and Vegas. And San Juan is the only one that has 100 score. And I actually know somebody, I have a coworker
Where's San Juan?
that is in Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico.
I don't know if they're in San Juan actually, but he thinks that he travels a lot. He's traveled the world. He loves to travel, and he thinks that San Juan is one of the most beautiful places.
Wow.
And the beaches are just world class. So that's number 4, Logan. Number 5, Montgomery. Montgomery has 99, score of 99, 27.4K revenue potential. So that's a little on the lower side, 49% occupancy, $162.10 daily rate. And Montgomery is gotta be Alabama, right? Alabama. Yep. Montgomery, Alabama. So Alabama's on there. Let's just go quick. 6 through 10. We won't say the actual facts. We'll just name them. So Chattanooga is number 6, score of 99. Flagstaff 98.
Arizona.
Dayton. Yep.
Ohio.
Dayton, Ohio 98. Columbus, South Carolina. Is that? It's 369. And then the last one, Fort Wayne, at with a rating of 98. Where is Fort Wayne? Anytime I hear anything Fort, I just think of Texas.
But see, I'm interested in the annual revenues because some of these are small, right? They're all under, let's just say, what would be the average? Like 40,
Indiana.
40,000 of those top 5?
Yeah, so the average,
Let's just guess.
So Fort Wayne is in Indiana.
So all of them,
the average, I would say, is
at least are like, you're going to book 15 days out of...
closer to 40.
You're booking anywhere from 15 to 16 days a month.
Yeah, I mean, they're all kind of in the 50% occupancy.
And so I'd love to know is like some of these revenues are 46,000, right? 36,000 is how much is that house worth? Because you're not going to be able to survive like that. Like I know Vegas, the houses are expensive right now. You can't. 60,000.
It depends. It just varies so much.
Yeah.
Like this is just like a very, very vague overview of all of the different listings, right? And the average of all the listings, the average of all the listings for occupancy, and the average of all the listings for the daily rate. So it varies so much within that.
Well, because Vegas, I don't know it well, but I've gone enough and I've looked up apartments and living. And so if you're an executive in Vegas and you have money, you're living in the best areas, which blanking on the name. There's like 2 or 3. The Henderson is one of them, right? Some of these amazing places. Those homes, you're looking at like $500,000 homes in gated communities and up. And then there's places where it's really cheap, but I mean, there's drug addicts. You're gonna get stabbed. I mean, it's rough out in Vegas.
It's rough out in any. I feel like it's rough out any big city, any big metropolis. You're gonna have really bad areas, and you're gonna have really amazing areas.
Yeah. Well,
but any city.
So according to Zillow, the average home price as of 2024 in Las Vegas, Nevada, is approximately $429,997. That's a 7.5 increase from the previous year. So
that's got to be pretty average across the country.
So that's a payment maybe right now of like what 4,000 something. 7% rate.
What was the price of
429,997? That's like a
probably close. Yeah, close to that. Probably like 3,500 to 4,000.
Yeah. So
something like that. It's the interest rate that brought the payments up a lot, but
so at 60,000 revenue they can make, you're barely making a few $1,000s a year.
Yeah. I think you really have to be above average to be profitable. You have to be like one of the top.
Yeah.
Well, like in the upper echelon.
And I think that's what we want to show. You can do it, but it is a little bit more.
You have to be better than average.
Yeah, it is a little bit more difficult. And I think the mistakes, and you can see a lot of Airbnb homes on Zillow and stuff. And it's because people just decided, oh, everyone's doing Airbnb homes. I'm just going to go buy one. And I just have to furnish it and put it up and I'm going to make money. And I don't think that happens anymore.
Yep, I agree. I think it's kind of like with anything. It's like when something's new, anybody can profit and win. But over time, you have to actually be really good. So can you be really good? Do you have some sort of advantage, right? It's like, what's your edge? Which, that varies. So let's go ahead and go to the next part, which we'll just run through this really quickly because we're at the 40-minute mark. So journey to Airbnb number 4. Okay, guys, where are we in the process? So journey to Airbnb number 4. Overall, you have done 3 Airbnb listings, right? And it's pretty much our family that has been involved in this whole thing. I haven't really been directly involved with the Airbnbs. I've let you and my dad have managed it. You, my dad, and my mom. And so there are been 3 listings on Airbnb, and now journey to number 4 begins, right? Which we want to partner up and team up and just combine resources. And so Airbnb number 4 is happening. Where are we in the process with Airbnb number 4, and what's the vision there?
So I think the vision is we want to get a house that's near a popular destination, right? So Ivo likes Vegas, which that's what we're looking for, stuff like that. Lots of people coming in and traveling, national parks, a awesome major city. We're looking to probably stay in the midterm rental range, just because lots of the STRs now are banned or you cannot get permits. So anytime you're doing less than 30 days, you run into an STR, which has lots of local laws and regulations.
A lot of places do now, right?
A lot of places do now. So if you just want to avoid all that, if you want to avoid that altogether, then you go for midterm to long term. And then long-term rentals are just what people have been doing since the age of time. It's just you're just buying something and you're renting it. So that's where we're at, and we're in the process of, okay, I think we all have some scrap change that we can all put together. And
Scrap change, bro. I've been
trying to stay modest here.
I've been cooking, bro. I've actually been cooking myself so that I can save to be able to save up the funds for this. So
I spent my
it's
money
my life
on this
savings,
awesome
bro.
mess.
This is my life savings. This is not my pocket change, guys.
I was trying
we're
to be
going all in here.
I was trying to be modest, but we're looking at I think a home, and we're debating staying in the a low range of 300, anywhere from 200,000 to 400,000, or do we put in a little bit more to acquire a $700,000-$800,000 home, which is going to lead to more money? So,
but more risk as well, because
a little bit more risk because the higher
talking
payment,
about the higher mortgage.
Yeah. So that's where we're at, and I think it's a great place because we've done a few, and we know some of the process, and now it's okay. Let's do the next one a little bit more methodically with an actual game plan of, we need to make it an experience. So whether that ends up being with amenities, or whether it's with a design aspect or a combination of it, or just we have a super awesome property and it's a mid-century all glass, right? Something like that. That's going to catch everyone's attention. You're going to get that person to click yours, or we have a really awesome backyard with a pool, pickleball court.
We want to stand out, right? We want to stand out. We're focusing on, we want to go the midterm. We've kind of identified that the midterm rental is the sweet spot at the moment, right?
Definitely.
With all the STR potential regulations, and you don't know if just overnight the city's going to ban STRs. So we're seeing opportunity in the midterm rental markets. I've stayed in so many different Airbnbs that now I have a great perspective on the guest side and what I loved, what I didn't. I got to try so many, and that's one of the things that we're even doing now, right? Is we like trying different Airbnbs to see what we can learn. When you're a guest, you get the other side of it. So I've been a guest, now I want to be on the host side of it, and you've been a host and you've been a guest, and I think the more that we can be guests, the more that we can learn and get to just kind of learn what it's like to be on the other side, to be able to use it then to improve our own listings.
Yeah, and the other hybrid hack would be, we get a really awesome property somewhere, like we're in LA, we're in Los Angeles, so we're close to Manhattan Beach, Long Beach,
beautiful.
Some of the best beaches in the world, and so if we can get a home in some of these areas, it's going to be more expensive, but if we rent them out by rooms, we kind of get the hybrid of short term, where you can charge a little bit more because now you're charging per room, and we're staying there so we can make the experience even better. And lots of people, you want to stay in these homes, but you can't afford these.
Right.
But if we rent it out as rooms, now it's very attractive to a lot of people. You don't have to spend $5,000-$6,000 to rent a house for a day. Right. So
an awesome house.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, I think it would be really cool if, the host experience where you are actually hosting people.
Yes.
I think that would be a lot of fun, and we'd be able to take people.
And you meet a lot of awesome people.
And be like, hey, we're doing this. You guys want to come with us? Or hey, we're making dinner at the house. My mom's cooking.
Yeah.
Our mom is an amazing cook, and G is too. And so that would be so fun to have people like actually host people.
Yeah.
And so I think that would be amazing.
Because we both, to end this, is we both stayed in an amazing Airbnb in Japan. Speak on it. I'll find the exact name of
the exact name of the listing.
Where we stayed in Japan.
So we went to Japan. We were in Tokyo, and I don't remember where this place was specifically.
I'll tell you right now, dude.
But it was basically in kind of a small.
It was one of these
village in the suburbs of Japan.
It was one of these two. I think it was this one.
Bunkyo or Gamigyo Ward. It was somewhere in kind of a small village town vibe in Japan, where we got to experience what life was like in a small town in Japan, and got to really experience what it's like to just live in someone's home. It's almost like you're being plugged in to a different country and somebody else's life, and you're just plugged in. It feels like you're not supposed to be there, which to me was incredible, which is what you can't get at a hotel, right? In the middle of the bustling city. And we were just somewhere very unknown. We were plugged into this very authentic Japanese home. Everything was just so authentic, right? It was somebody's actual home that they were renting out. Yep. And we got to go out and walk through the neighborhoods, get to see what everyday life is like in Japan, in a random small town. The kids are going out of school. Yeah, that's freaking awesome. It was amazing. It was one of my favorite travel experiences, and that's what we would love to create for people that are visiting the U.S. For the first time, or
so that would be cool if we could host people in rooms, because then we could do so. Like me and Ivo love on the weekends exploring, and so we have amazing places in the morning to go walk, to do a hike, to get coffee.
We're always looking for coffee spots.
To then go and do like an awesome activity or visit a museum, or there's just tons of stuff. The best
places, like our favorite tacos, our favorite sushi spots.
Yeah, because if you YouTube the best things to do in Los Angeles, it's terrible. Those guides they're
so generic.
It's so generic. It's terrible.
Well, I mean, maybe not terrible, but we think that when you have a family member, let's say, and you visit their city or their hometown, they know the spots, right? They're like, this is my favorite. Take the time to show you. Right? Yeah, and so that's what we would love to do, is be able to actually host people. And so we want to focus on hosting, which is why we want to focus on staying in rooms, which leads us to our upcoming Austin trip. In order to do some market research, G, can you fill us in on that?
Yeah, so we're gonna fly to Austin November 21st to 25th or 26th.
25th.
So we're gonna stay in about 4 different rooms, different budgets, some lower ones, a little bit higher, and then one where we deem it's expensive, so it's on the higher end. It's about a few $100s a night, and so we just kind of want to show you all the different variations of staying in rooms, and we hope to have the host speak to us, which would be awesome to get their perspective, what they like about the listing, how it's been going so far. Would they do it again? Would they do a second one? Mm-hmm. We really just want to understand what it's like to be a host in Austin, Texas,
and what it's like to be a guest.
But we think it's a great potential market, so we're gonna go and just try out some rooms and hopefully learn a little bit about Austin, Texas. I've never been. So.
And one of the things I want to highlight here is that why Austin, Texas? Because for me, I thought
Elon Musk.
Yes, that's why
Joe Rogan.
I would live there just purely based off that. No, but
all the views we can get.
No, I mean, for me, when I think of Austin, I just think it's too late because STRs are banned already, or not that they're banned, but you need to get permits, you need to get this. So I thought, nope, there's no way. Austin never even crossed my mind.
Well,
why did we actually choose Austin for this first trip?
We ended up choosing Austin because if we stick to our game plan, which is midterm rentals, or we buy the home and then we're going to rent the room, you can avoid all that by doing it a midterm or a long term. And we ended up seeing that there's been a recent change in local regulations where to be a short-term rental, you had to live in the home. And then you were allowed to get this license and you can rent it on Airbnb for stays shorter than 30 days. They changed that where now you can get that same permit and you don't have to live in the home. So with that change, I mean, that's huge. That's huge. Now we would pursue that. Where before we thought, we want to be in a market that we have the flexibility of being an STR or do it long term.
And also, I would add that again, it's a hot spot, right? It's a booming city that I can't see 10 years from now people not being in Austin because of, Tesla being there, SpaceX, Joe Rogan lives there, which in and of itself is already reason to buy property there.
We love it. I think it's so funny. And I think I hope
it's gonna be
I hope
important for a while.
exactly. We didn't get to see LA in its heyday, and there's something that I think, right? Yeah,
Wait. No, okay,
That's a
that's
fact.
fair. That's fair. That's fair.
and I think that's happening in Austin right now, where there's tons of people just moving there. So I think it's very young. People have dreams, aspirations, and
People are moving there.
it would be awesome to just
to go big.
to see that and feel
Yeah.
that. Yeah. And so I think that energy's there in that city, and that would be awesome to see and catch it early.
It feels like the startup place. It's like what San Francisco might have been back in the day.
LA.
And Silicon Valley, what LA must have been back in the day. It seems that Austin is kind of that
something there
vibe.
happening, yeah.
And so, we want to be able to kind of check it out. And if we can acquire property there, that would be amazing, because I think it's going to be there for a long, long time. 10 years, 20 years. I don't see how in 10 years it's going to be less expensive to live in Austin.
Yeah.
So
that's,
or
that's
less
the trip.
fun. So that's the trip, and we have it coming up. So that's the upcoming Austin trip. Now, the next thing is going to be the Miami conference. So there's an IMN conference coming up in Miami, January 15th to 16th, 2025. And I actually got invited to go to this by meeting Rich Monroe, who has his own, he has a ton of Airbnb listings, and he has his own Airbnb investing sort of community and program. And he helps, investors to be able to learn how to do what he does, which is very high level, and he kind of focuses on making it a business, which that's what really stood out to me. He's all about automation and making sure that systems are in place. And so, I saw him do a speech at the real estate investment sort of group organization in Jacksonville, because I was exploring different markets. And he invited me to go to the conference. And so there's going to be some really cool speakers. Let me just pull this up. We'll just do a quick who's going. So some of the speakers, it's the 3rd annual short-term rental forum. It's going to be in Miami. And let's just check out some of the speakers. So we have Farhan Abbasi. So I don't know the majority of these people, but I'm going to shout out Rich Monroe, right, from BNB Investing Group. And I want to shout out the one person that I'm excited to see, which you're a huge fan of, which is Isaac French, right? Yeah. The creator of Live Oak Lake.
Yes.
And so I know that you have been a big fan of Isaac's for a long time. So when I saw him that he's going to speak, I was like, oh, this is going to be cool. And I haven't looked into the others, but that's happening. I will be there. We're going to try and get G to go as well so that we can make the trip out to Miami. And I really loved Fort Lauderdale when I was there recently. And I think it would be cool to explore. Maybe we can do another video. And so that's going to be happening. And then final thoughts. So we'll wrap it up with final thoughts.
Yeah, I think honestly, this was awesome. I loved it. I love this format. Yeah, this was just super fun. I think I just want to end on if anybody loves staying in Airbnbs or is a host or is interested in this and you're near us, we're in LA and you want to do an interview, we'd love to meet you. And I think that's my final thought. It'd be awesome to meet people. Yeah. Okay. Start building a community. Awesome.
Yeah. I would say I'll follow up on that with saying that one of the main reasons why we want to start making content is because we want to experience more community, more connecting with people, building relationships, having friends in different places, right? And something that I've experienced recently is a lot of loneliness as a digital, quote unquote, digital nomad, traveling all the time. I experienced a lot of loneliness. Yep. And it was certain places it would be amazing, and I had friends, and I would had this sort of built-in community. But in other places, it was hard to meet other people and to make friends, especially if you're moving around. So one of the things was community, right? We want to find communities. We want to build community. We want to focus on social interaction. We want to meet real people, talk to people, learn their stories, connect with people. So that's one of the things that we want to make this about, is just human interaction and really meeting new people and making connections, making friends, and kind of just being able to just meet more people. So I would say the social connection is a big part of it, and this is the journey. So welcome.
And maybe we can start a thing for people that listen. It's if you want to meet us, like we'll always buy you your coffee or something like that, right?
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the least we could do. So let's go. Episode 1 in the books.
Sweet. Adios.